What's up, everybody? Jared here with carbuzz.com, and today Toyota has flown me out to sunny Utah to drive their new 2023 Supra. Now, this is interesting for the 2023 model because I've driven the Supra a bunch of times before, but for the first time in this new 5th generation Supra model, you can get a manual transmission, and we are definitely going to talk about it. This car that I am showing you right here is actually the A91 MT Special Edition. This is a new Special Edition model of the Supra for 2023 only, and it's only available with the new 6-speed manual transmission. So let's go ahead and check it out. First of all, I want to start with the Supra styling. I've always been a big fan of the Supra styling. It's based on that FT1 concept car from a few years back. But let's talk about this new color. It's called See You Later Gray. What a hilarious name for a color. It's so great. And I said to Toyota, you know what? That actually looks kind of like a BMW color that I've heard of called David's Gray, I believe it is. And they're like, yeah, it's pretty much a BMW color. But even though it is taken from BMW, as with a lot of the parts from this car, I think it looks so good on this Supra. It's this cool gray, and as you can see, when the sun hits it, it has like this yellow speck to it. It's so cool. I can't believe how good the Supra looks in this color. So if you are thinking about getting the A91 Special Edition, definitely get it in the See You Later Gray. We've got some new wheels that look kind of like blades, like kunai or something like that. I love these new wheels on the Supra. We've got red brake calipers on the A91 Special Edition as well. So 19 inches in the front. I believe they're 20s in the rear. Or do we have 19s? Yep, 19s on all four corners, 275 rears, so nice and wide rear Pilot Sport tires. Again, just look at how cool this See You Later Gray looks. I hope it's coming off in the camera where the sun hits it. Just such cool colors. I love the Supra's back end as well. You're supposed to get a red Supra badge on the A91 Special Edition, so I'm not sure why this Supra badge is black. I'll be sure to ask Toyota about that. I don't believe there is an exterior trunk release. It's been a while since I've driven a Supra. I guess we're gonna have to come over here and open the trunk. Let me know in the comments how wrong I was about where the trunk release is. But we have a nice sizable hatchback here. Not super deep, so it's not very deep and voluminous. We have this cover here as well, but it is nice that you can kind of take this off and just reach back behind the seats, sort of old Corvette style, to put some nice sized bags in the trunk. And because we have the A91 Special Edition, we have this fabulous brown interior. You can also get black or you can get a red interior, but I think this brown is the best that you're gonna get on a 2023 Supra. I'm just a little disappointed that it's locked to this Special Edition. So you have to buy the most expensive Supra to be able to get this interior, which sucks because I think it's great. I think it really livens up the cabin a whole lot. We're gonna go ahead and step on in. I'll hit the start button for you. Push the clutch because of course we have a manual transmission for the first time. So here it is. This is our manual transmission. Because we are driving the A91 Special Edition, we've got a little GR logo on it. Now Toyota has, they've basically waxed poetic about how many changes they've made to this transmission. It is a ZF source transmission, just like their automatic. You can tell the shifter looks nothing like what you would find in a BMW. You have this nice thin stock, and then you have this nice ball that falls nicely into hand here at the top. Your reverse is going to be a pull lock out into reverse, just like it is in most BMW vehicles. But what they've done here is they've adjusted this center console. This piece usually comes way further out, which would definitely disrupt you shifting. So they've moved this back a little bit, and I think they've moved some of the buttons and maybe the BMW style iDrive shifter as well, just to basically give you more room to shift. And I want to say that with my bottle there in that position, I'm not really hitting it at all when I'm shifting. shifting. If I were to put a large bottle here, that would get in my way a little bit. So as long as your bottle is in that spot, not that spot, you should be fine. And then aside from that, pretty much everything else is the same. I do love the brown on the steering wheel. I think that looks really nice as well. We've got the same cluster that we had on the last one, same touchscreen that we had on the last one. So there's really not a whole lot to talk about there. So let's go ahead and get the Supra out on the road to talk about this manual transmission. All right, so now let's get the 2023 Toyota Supra out on the road, or well, kind of a road. Toyota has actually set me up on some little roads within the grounds of this racetrack, and so we are going to get the Supra out on the racetrack. But I want to just talk to you a little bit more slowly about what you can expect from this 2023 Supra. So the engines and the power outputs of them are not changed from last year's Supra. We've got a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine on the base model, 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. You can only get the 4-cylinder Supra with an 8-speed automatic transmission. The big news is that we can now get this manual transmission on the 3-liter inline-6 motor, which, just like the 4-cylinder, is a BMW engine. It's a great engine, though. It's the B58 engine. You can hear it. It still makes a really nice noise. And you can still get it with the 8-speed ZF automatic, but now you can get it with this 6-speed manual transmission, which is quite cool. So they used an existing transmission that already existed from ZF, but they've changed the housing and the gear set. It has a new shift lever. This feels nothing like the BMW shifter. It looks nothing like the BMW shifter. And they removed an acoustic package that was on the transmission just to save a little bit of weight and make it feel a little bit more notchy. And it also has a larger diameter clutch. Now we have a straightaway here, so I can do a 0 to 60 run. This is like a perfect opportunity for it. So let's go ahead and put it in first. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the traction control off because we definitely don't need that. Ready? Floor it, roll off. Woohoo! Little chirp. Oh, yes. And then they've asked me to slow down after I do the 60 miles an hour, but that was really easy. I felt that was easier to do that quick 1-2 shift than it was in the BMW M4 manual that I drove last year. And honestly, I gotta say that whatever Toyota has done to this shifter, it feels notchier than a BMW shifter. I know a lot of people do not love BMW shifters. They feel rubbery. This really doesn't, I don't think. I think this transmission, even going down all the way into first, and now back up into second, ooh, I love shifting this. The positioning of the transmission itself is perfect. Like, it falls so nicely into hand. I love going through the gears on this car. It's absolutely great. Toyota, bravo with what you've done to this transmission. I think it feels really great. Now, if you do get this manual transmission, you are going to lose a little bit on your 0 to 60 times. 0 to 60 they've quoted at 4.2 seconds, which is not far off the pace of a manual BMW M4, if I'm being honest. I think a manual M4 is like 4.1 seconds, and that has over 470 horsepower, so huge power difference there. And the automatic is going to put you at about 3.9. So if you want to be the quickest possible, you're going to want to still get the Supra in the 8-speed automatic. And if you get the 4-cylinder, I might as well mention that. That'll do 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. So not quite as quick. I've driven the 4-cylinder Supra. I'm not that impressed by it. It doesn't make the noise, the cracks, and the pops that this does. They've recalibrated the suspension a little bit and the roll balance on all 2023 models, and they retuned the traction control to work specifically with this manual transmission so that it wouldn't be too much of like a tire squealing monster. And honestly, I think this is exactly what's been missing from the Supra. I didn't think that a manual transmission could make that big of a difference in this car. But I don't know, I'm kind of tempted now that there is an official manual transmission in this car. And I was one of the few journalists that drove the manual transmission swap that was being offered by EAG out in Texas. And sorry to offend you guys at EAG, Toyota did a way better job with the manual on the Supra. The gearing is better, the ratios are better, the shifter action is better, the clutch is better. And if you have been waiting desperately for Toyota to put a manual in the Supra before you pulled the trigger on buying it, I think this is everything that you've been waiting for. You should definitely go for it. So with that being said, I liked it on the street. Let's find out if I like the Toyota Supra with the manual as much on a racetrack. So let's go ahead and put on a helmet. And before we do, I should also mention that if you do want one of these A91 MT special editions, they're only building 500 of them. So you will be able to get the manual transmission on all Toyota Supra trims with the 3-liter inline-6 engine. But if you want all of the special interior, they're only going to do 500 of those. All right, now let's get the manual transmission Supra out on the racetrack. Now, I've had extensive experience driving the Supra on the track before, and I am very happy that I actually drove this car out on the street for you before, because this track and this car has such long legs that I'm really only gonna end up using 3rd gear. I might get into 4th gear a little bit on this track, but as you're gonna see, I'm mostly gonna stick into 3rd gear. Now, the thing that I'm not the biggest fan of on the Supra on the track is the steering is definitely that BMW steering, although it is a little sharper than some BMW models. It's very light, very easy to place, but it's not super communicative. That engine though, oh my God, this B58 BMW engine, oh, it sings. Listen to this. Love the way that sounds. Admittedly, I was not in sport mode when I took you out on the road, so that's why, if you were wondering why the Supra was a little bit quiet out on the road, that's why. But yeah, I'm mostly in 3rd gear this whole time. This car is definitely tuned pretty softly, as I just braked way too late into that corner. So I do feel a good amount of lean in it. That's what makes the Supra such a good street car though, is that Toyota didn't make it too stiff, but it's also what hinders it on the track. I'm noticing that I'm pushing wide a little bit, that I just don't have 100% confident in that rear end, but it can get tail happy, this car. You can definitely slide it on demand if you want. There's plenty of power. But yeah, I wish that I had a little bit more communication through this steering wheel and just a little bit less body roll on a track like this. Toyota definitely had to strike a balance here. They wanted to go for a car that was comfortable on the street, but also capable on the track, and they've done that. But now that we have this manual transmission car, I really think that the next evolution for the Supra has to be some kind of above the GR model. That's what I want to see next from Toyota. I want to see you take everything here, not necessarily more power, maybe 400 horsepower, just a little bit more. I think it has plenty of power and plenty of speed as it is. But I want to see a Supra with Cup 2 tires. I want to see a Supra with really stiff racing suspension and maybe some extra bracing, like a real track-focused special. I think that is what I really want to see from the Supra. But if you are just looking for a comfortable sports car that you can drive every day on the road super well, I really like the Supra for that, and this manual transmission is a really great addition. All right, so that was the 2023 Toyota Supra. I am so happy that Toyota finally decided to put a manual transmission in this car, but now it's time for us to talk about pricing. So pricing for the 2-liter 4-cylinder model, which I told you I'm not a huge fan of, starts at $43,540. Now, if you want to step up to the 3-liter inline-6 engine, which I recommend you do, that is going to start at $52,500 for the automatic and for the manual. They are the same price. I'm pretty happy that Toyota decided to make them the same price, so you can basically pick or choose which transmission you want. If you want to step up to the 3.0 Premium with more features, that's $55,650. Again, same for automatic or manual. Or for 2023 only, you can get an A91 MT, which is the one that we've looked at here. Comes in this amazing See You Later gray. You get that really nice brown leather interior that we checked out, red badging and some other stuff. that is going to be $58,343, so nearly $60,000. There are some packages to add on the Supra, including a driver assist package for $1,100, safety and technology package for $31.55 on the manual, $34.85 on the automatic transmission. But basically, what Toyota has done here has taken their Supra sports car and made it a little bit more desirable by now offering it with the manual transmission. So if you were on the fence before and you really just didn't want to trade in your manual car for an automatic, Toyota has given you a great option. I really love the Supra with the manual transmission more than I thought I would, and overall, I like it more than the Nissan Z. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the 2023 Toyota Supra. For more videos like it, be sure to check out carbuzz.com. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. I'll see you next time.